Hi guys, and welcome back to Car Focus. Now in this video I'm bringing out my pride and joy, my Mk2 Focus RS. I haven't done much content on this car lately, mainly because there's not been that much content to do really. I haven't really done much to it. It's been to a couple of shows, but there's been no real modifications, just no real cause to make a video. But we're fast approaching October now, it's the end of September. It's highly likely this is going to be the last time I get the car out. I haven't actually driven the car for a month. It's been covered up, it's been on the C-Tech, just trickle charging. And with having the Cupra now, I've just not really felt the need to drive this car. Plus the weather's been a bit ropey as well. But I thought today, I'm going to whip the cover off, disconnect the trickle charger and get her out for a blast. It is actually a nice day. The sun has typically just gone in behind a cloud. But we do have blue skies. It's fairly warm. It's just a nice day to take the RS out for a spin. And I thought, as it's probably going to be the last proper drive of the year, I'd get the camera out and I'd do a little video. Now, I get quite a few DMs on this car asking questions about various little bits that I've done. I've done a few little bits visually around the car just to enhance the way it looks and just give it that kind of, as I always say, that OEM plus kind of vibe about it. These are mainly just tiny little sort of cheap little modifications using kind of genuine Ford bits where I can, or Mountune bits. Basically manufacturers that have had ties with Ford in the past. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to just walk you around the car and just show you the little bits that I've done, where I got them from, and roughly how much they cost. And it will just kind of, when people ask me questions on Instagram via DM, I can kind of refer them to this video and just say, take a look and, you know, you can fill your boots. If you want to make your car look like this, then by all means, copy me, I'm not bothered. But it's hardly a unique build. It's just a few little touches just to make the car kind of, just freshen it up a little bit really. So we'll go around the car and I'll show you the little bits that I'm talking about. And then that'll be it. So coming to the front of the car, I've not done too much here. These are, as I say, just tiny little bits. The car used to actually have a front splitter on it, a TRC front splitter, which I took off. I felt it just made the car a bit impractical. It made it very close to the ground, and you're just asking to basically rip off that front splitter and potentially damage the Ford bumper, and I don't want to do that. These black sections here are very expensive. They're about £600 I think now, and obviously the bumper itself is quite expensive. But all I've done on the front of this car is gel badges. So these RS badges, they do get tired over time. They start to flake and peel and they fade. So I've got these gel badges from DMB online. Look really good. It's just literally a case of peeling the backing off and sticking them in, and then it just replaces, well, it goes over the top of the old faded Ford one. There we go, the sun's come out now, look. Told you it was there somewhere. So yeah, I've replaced those around the car. So you've got two on each, one on each side as well, and then one at the back as well, and then this one on the front here. You can actually buy replacement badges. I think they're about 40 or 50 pounds on eBay. That's if they're still available, but they were a year or so ago. So yeah, that's the badging done. Number plates. I went through a phase of having gel number plates. I thought they looked kind of good. They do look quite good, I suppose, but I decided to go back to genuine number plates. So I went down to my local Ford dealership, which is TC Harrison, got them to whip up some number plates for me. I think it was about £20. It wasn't much at all. And I've put these back on, and it just gives it a bit of a factory look. I've actually tracked down the original dealership for this car, a small little dealership in Wales called Aberdare Ford, and they've actually sent me out some number plates. So I am going to put those on at some point in the future, just to kind of bring it back to its roots a little bit. But I did want to find out where this came from originally, and I managed to track it down, and I tracked it back to Aberdare Ford in Wales. So yeah, so that's another thing, the number plates. Moving on to the headlights. Now these come with 501 side lights, just the normal bulbs, and they tend to get hot over a lot of usage, and they scorch the sides here of the lights. So to eliminate that and to make them look better, I literally just went to Halfords and bought some LED 501 bulbs. They weren't very expensive. I think they're about £8, and I've put them in the side lights, and you can put them in your puddle lights as well, and your wing mirrors. It just ties the colour in with the xenons, so when you've got the headlights on fully, the side lights match the colour of the xenons, whereas standard, these look a bit orangey, and obviously you get the more crisp blue colour coming from the xenons. So that's that for the front of the car. While we're at the front here, quickly talk about the engine bay. There's a couple of little bits I've changed in there just to freshen it up as well. Right guys, I hope I'm in shot here, by the way. I think I'm in shot. Am I in shot? Yeah, I'm sure I'm in shot. Anyway, yeah, little things you can do under here. So These can get a bit tired, so just treat them with a bit of plastic restore or something like that, just to bring up the shine. So I've done all that on all the plastics. I've obviously got the Mk2 airbox, which was pretty new anyway. But you can order things like these little stickers. You can still get those off places like eBay, or I think DMB again supplied these stickers as well. But I haven't needed to replace mine, but you can get replacement ones just to tidy it up. I have replaced the coolant reservoir filler cap because that was looking a bit tired. A very easy purchase, again off eBay. You find a lot of stuff off eBay for these. Power steering pump cap as well. Get new ones of those off eBay. Oil filler cap. Just basically go around the engine bay looking at bits that are a bit tired and replacing them. The fuse box cover as well, I got a new one of those because when I bought the car it had this kind of chrome, no, it was like a mirror finish panel glued to the top with an RS badge on it just to kind of bling it up a little bit. I didn't like that, so got a new one of those, again off eBay. And then yeah, I've just done a couple of little bits. I've got the FJRS dress up plate here, which just covers up the metal strip on the cam cover, which can get a bit oxidized, doesn't look that great. So yeah, I've got that on there. And then I've just got my Mk2 bits just to kind of dress up the engine bay. The Mk2 induction hoses, obviously the plenum. These are quite expensive bits, but things like the caps and stuff. And these hoses, they weren't that much money, and it does just make the engine bay look that bit better. But just keeping it clean as well, guys. Just you know, giving it a bit of a clean every now and then, dressing it up with some plastic shine stuff. Yeah, it makes a lot of difference. Dipstick as well, you can also replace your dipstick. It's not that expensive because these yellow dipstick handles can get a bit grubby. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done under the engine bay, but first glance, it looks pretty good. So moving around the car, now this is a question I get asked a lot, and it's these here, these centre caps. So the RS in standard form, it comes with blue centre caps. I don't think they look that great because it's a bit of a contrast from the silver to the blue. They just sort of stand out, not in a good way. So I've basically got these silver ones. These are genuine Ford. These are off a Ford Galaxy, I believe. I got a set of 4, I think it's for about £28 off eBay. However, you can no longer buy them in a set of 4, you have to buy them individually. And they're more expensive. I think they're around £10 each. They might be a bit more, but don't quote me on that. But they are on eBay. Have a look on Rates Ford. But they're for a Ford Galaxy, and they're a very nice little swap out. It just ties a whole alloy in with the centre of the wheel, and it just looks tidier and better. Also with the alloy wheels, I don't know if you can see these wheel nuts here. These are actually Mk2 Focus RS wheel nuts. Now they do sit nicely in the wheel. There's no kind of danger to fitting them. I've had these fitted for a couple of years. There's been no problem whatsoever. It just eliminates the standard Mk2 nuts because they have like a chrome nut cover over them, and they're prone to coming off, cracking, and exposing a rusty nut underneath. But these seem to be a more solid unit. They're a little bit less cumbersome. They look a little bit smaller and just sit nicely in there. So that's something else I've done there. Mud guards. Now I think it's quite important to have mud guards on the car because it does protect the side of the car. It does kind of go with the rally look as well, and it ties the nice big arches in, I think. So not only does it, you know, do a job, it also looks good in my opinion. These are Mk2 made by Rally Armour. I had them fitted at FJRS, but I think if you're running spacers like I am, it's kind of an essential thing to have because the wheels are sticking out that bit further, and it just protects the side of the car. Talking about spacers, I have got eye-back spacers on this car. I've got 15mm on the front, 20mm at the rear. So the rear, it just fills it out nicely. I think if you have 20s on the front, it looks a bit too wide. So I've got 15mm on the front. It just kind of suits the car really well. Hasn't really adversely affected handling. I've not noticed anything dodgy about the handling. But yeah, with the spacers, I've got the mud guards, and then I've also got the eye-back springs as well, the eye-back Pro springs. I've done a video on those before, but it just brings the whole car in, it beefs it up, sits it down that bit more, and it just gives the car the stance that really it could have done with from the factory, because they do sit a bit high, particularly at the front from the factory. So yeah, that's that bit of the car. Move around to the back of the car, I haven't really done that much. I did take off the Focus badge. I thought that debadging it would make it look pretty nice, but it made it look a bit too kind of bland at the back, so I put the Focus badge back on, bought a brand new one. Probably needed a new one anyway, it was getting a little bit grubby around the edges, so yeah, new Focus badge went back on. And then I fitted this here, so there is a mod where you can buy the left-hand drive reverse light for the car. So it's just a European reverse light, and it swaps out the existing fog light, so you don't have the white and the red, so you have both white. All you have to do in that scenario, once you've refitted it, it's a really easy process by the way, is put a red bulb in. And when you've got a red bulb in, it's perfectly legal, it'll pass the MOT, and it just makes the car nice and symmetrical from the back. Didn't quite like it when it was white and red, so I got this left-hand drive unit. It's a genuine Ford item. It was £50 I think from eBay, quite expensive, but you can get aftermarket ones for a fraction of that price. I think you can get them for £15–20, but yeah, that was a nice easy mod. Around the back of the car, haven't really done anything else. Obviously I've got the number plate, which I touched upon around the front. I've left the wiper on, I've left it pretty much as Ford intended. It's a very nice looking car. It's got a big old diffuser, a big spoiler. I don't think it needs tampering with, to be honest. The exhausts from factory are really, they're a good size, they look decent, nice and polished up. When you put a bit of elbow grease into them, they look really good. But yeah, haven't really done anything else to the back of the car, doesn't need it. And just two more things on the outside of the car. One is the final visual thing that I've done, and that is the aerial. So the standard aerial is quite long, it weathers quite badly. So I whipped that off and I've actually put a Mark 8 Ford Fiesta ST aerial on. So it's a stubbier aerial, it does still screw in to the existing base. There's not quite as many threads, so it's not in as deep, but once you do screw it in as far as it can go, it does stay in, it doesn't fly off. Just looks a bit better, looks a bit more modern. These bases here, they do kind of deteriorate over time. This one isn't the greatest, it's not the worst, so it's probably something I will look at changing in the near future. And then finally, I just got some genuine Ford, some Motorcraft wiper blades on. It just, I know it's only a very minor thing, but I like having standard bits on the car where I can get them. They're only about 25 quid for the pair, I think, from Ford, not much at all. And yeah, just a tiny little thing. Yeah, that's it. And finally guys, moving inside the car, I have pretty much done nothing in here. No additional mods. There are a few things that people like to do. They like to put the Recaro plates on the seats here. You can get various carbon little trims for the steering wheel. You can change the gear knob for like Mountune one, that kind of thing. But I like to keep it pretty much as it came out the factory in here. What I have done though, I have bought some replacement parts. I've got some genuine RS mats off eBay. They're on rates Ford again. Got those for about £50. And I've just kept them as a spare set because I know that in a few years time the prices for those mats are going to rocket up. If you look at a set of Mark 1 Focus RS mats now, they're like hundreds of pounds because they're just so rare. So if you've got a Mark 2 RS, get yourself a spare pair of mats and just put them up in your loft or something and keep hold of them. I managed to get a genuine gear knob as well in excellent condition because this one's got a little bit of wear on it, so I will replace that at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just believe in kind of replacing stuff when they're tired when it comes to the inside of the car, just like for like, genuine Ford replacements. My steering wheel is pretty good, to be fair. It doesn't need retrimming or anything like that. Yeah, so that's fine. Probably one thing I'd like to do, but I'm not going to do because it would cost an absolute fortune, is replicate the RS 500 interior. They have a black surround around the infotainment and some various different bits of trim and stuff, but I won't do that because those parts are just so rare. But yeah, inside of the car is pretty much as it came out the factory. So that is it guys. A tour around the car just to show you all the little bits I've done just to get the OEM Plus that I'm after. It's basically just replace parts where you can for new bits just to freshen up and just use genuine bits or bits as close to genuine or kind of that have links to Ford, just to kind of improve the car as well. Just like the eye-back springs, they were an option from Ford back in the day. The Mountune flaps, and Mountune have a long relationship with Ford. All that kind of jazz. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not quite it this year for the RS. There's going to be one more outing next month. If you've made it this far into the video, then fair play, because you're going to find out about it now. But it's going to FJRS next month. It's going to have its MOT, and we're going to go that step closer to the MR375. So you probably saw the video I did about taking this to MR375. We're going to go for it, and we're having an intercooler fitted in a few weeks' time. So I'm excited about that. So we'll just be a few mods away from 375 after that. We'll need the catback exhaust, the fuel pump and the map itself. But yeah, off to FJRS next month for that, for fitting. I will do a video on it. And then it'll be covered up and that'll be it for the rest of the year. So yeah guys, as always, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and pump some more videos out. I don't know what of, maybe some car reviews and stuff, but who knows. I'll try and be a bit creative as to what I can do. But for me and my beautiful, as you'd probably agree, Mark II Focus RS. Until the next video, take care and I shall see you soon.